New U.S. lawmaker Nancy Mace condemns global silence over Christian persecution in Nigeria, demands renewed action to rescue Chibok girls. Police dismiss fear of planned unrest, assure safety on Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos. NDLEA turns nightlife into nightmare in Lagos as drug party raid continues. Stop the injustice. Ned Nwoko accuses federal government of using Kanu's detention to punish Igbos. Hello and welcome to another edition of Trends on LJE, where we bring you latest and developing stories in and across Nigeria and of course Africa. I am Kamyang John. Now do well to be part of our growing online community by following, liking and sharing at LJE Nigeria on all social media platforms. Now after the break, I'll be joined by my studio guest, and of course do well to stay tuned after the break.
Nigeria is at a turning point. Young people are rising, demanding change. If you believe in justice, strong leadership, and real reform, then it's time to take a stand.
At LJE Nigeria, we're not just observers, we're builders. We're tackling leadership deficits, advocating for justice reforms, and driving economic advancement for all.
As a volunteer, you won't just watch, you will be a part of it. You will gain access to powerful seminars, conferences, and mentorships from professionals who believe in your potential.
No matter who you are, whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, a professional, or someone who cares, there's a place for you here.
Network with passionate change makers, build skills, and step into leadership.
Join LJE Nigeria today. Let's lead with truth. Let's build with courage. Let's rise for Nigeria. Become an LJE volunteer today and be the change Nigeria needs. Follow all our social media handles for more details.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And if you just joined us, this is Trends with LJE. And joining me to discuss trending stories on this edition of the show is Miriam Gamali. Miriam, it's great to have you join us.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
And also another lovely lady, Esther Ekwere. Esther, it's great to have you join us as well.
Thank you, Mr.
Now, thank you for making our time to be with us. Let's get to the first story. And of course, we are looking at latest developments from the United States, where Nancy Mace, a member of the United States House of Representatives representing South Carolina's 1st District, has decried the continued global indifference towards the relentless persecution and mass killings of Christians in Nigeria. Of course, if you have been following developments, you will know that the story about killings about Nigeria has continued to trend. You will recall that the tragic 2014 adoption of over 250 Chibok schoolgirls by terrorist group Boko Haram. Mace lamented that more than a decade later, many of the victims remain unaccounted for, leaving families in anguish and communities in despair. The U.S. Congresswoman described the world's silence in the face of these atrocities as both unacceptable and morally indefensible, urging renewed global action to secure the release of the remaining missing girls and to confront what she termed as an ongoing genocide against Christians in Nigeria. Her call reignites international concern over Nigeria's persistent security crisis, which has seen thousands of civilians, particularly Christian majority regions, killed or displaced due to attacks by extremist groups, bandits, and sectarist militants. Her statement serves as a poignant reminder of the world's unfinished responsibility to the victims of religious violence and the need for a united stand against terrorism and human rights violation in Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria, to be precise. Now, let me start with you, Miriam. How do you react to this renewed call? Of course, reminding us of the incident of the Chibok girls that happened about a decade ago, 10 years ago. I mean, some would say how time flies. And still from that, we still have issues of kidnapping, issues of banditry, issues of terrorism in northeast Nigeria. Of course, the government of the day will continue to argue that they have done their best to de-escalate the situation. But what's your thoughts?
Anyway, this will just show you how far Nigerians have been crying about insecurity in the country. You see that we are crying about insecurity, stealing, kidnapping, and our leaders, our governments aren't even trying to do anything about it. They are just silent as if it's nothing. Okay, now this genocide has been happening in some states lately, Plateau. You see that nobody has come out to say there has been mass burials or this is happening or this is not happening. Everybody is silent about it. You've not seen any media house carrying it. You've not seen anybody talking about this thing. Thank God that other people, even outside the country, is saying it, for her to come out and start talking about it. While our leaders, who we put in place to secure us, who we put in place to take care of us, doesn't even care. They're not saying anything about it.
On Friday, Mr. President fired his entire service chiefs. Is that not some indication that Mr. President is taking the matter serious by firing
He's taking the matter serious by firing them, but aside that firing service member, what has he done? Has he gone to the state where this thing is happening? Has he done anything? I mean, he's just quiet there that he's firing people without doing anything. To me, he's not doing anything tangible. Because it is not today this matter started. This matter has been over a decade, like you said, and nothing is absolutely done about it.
Esther, what's your reaction to the call by the U.S. Congresswoman? Now, one will say that the U.S. should mind their business, and Nigeria, we should face our own business because we see ourselves as a sovereign state with our own constitution, and we have a right to deal with issues of this nature. But is there any value to what the U.S. Congresswoman has said?
Yes, of course. There's a lot of value to what she has said, because her bringing that up should be a wake-up call for the government. This should be like a challenge to the government that even the international bodies have been aware of the mass killing in the northern part of Nigeria. And we all know that this issue has been on for a very long time, and the government have not done any tangible thing about it. Thinking about families, and the killing is just too much. It's a good thing that she stepped up.
Well, how do you react to Mr. President's firing of the service chiefs? At least that was the major highlight of the closing stages of last week, going into the weekend. Isn't that a clear indication that the man at the helm of affairs seems to understand the plight of the Nigerians when it comes to insecurity?
Well, it's a good step. It's a good head start, but he needs to do more than just firing.
Okay.
He needs to go deeper into finding out why these people are killing Christians all over the country, especially the northern state, not just firing them, but it's a good head start. He should do more. We are calling on the Nigerian government to do more for this.
Well, we would like to get your reactions and contributions to this development. But moving on to our next story, where the Lagos State Police Command has claimed the frayed nerves of Lagosians over news making the rounds regarding a planned disruption of the Third Mainland Bridge by some youths in the Oworoshoki area of the state. Now, in a statement issued today, Monday, October 27, 2025, by the command spokesperson, SP Abimbola Adebisi, the command addressed concerns about a potential disruption near the Oworoshoki area of the bridge. The police are aware of the situation and have taken measures to maintain law and order. They confirmed that officers had been fully deployed to ensure the safety of all road users and to prevent any obstruction or breach of the peace. They also urged residents to carry on with their normal activities without fear and to cooperate with security personnel as they perform their duties. Now, this reassurance comes amid growing public concern over recent online messages warning of public unrest or traffic disruptions on the Third Mainland Bridge, which is one of the busiest routes connecting the Lagos mainland to the island. The command reiterated its readiness to respond swiftly to any threats that could disturb the peace and stability of the state. Now, Miriam, the Third Mainland Bridge is you could say, is one of those iconic symbols of Lagos. But now that protests are leaving the streets to the bridges, and not just any bridge, but Third Mainland, which connects the mainland to the island. How do you react to the fact that now any community that seems to want to catch the headlines and attentions just finds a reason to want to disrupt the peace?
Anyway, I don't know why Nigerians like protest, because we've been protesting for God knows how long and it is not yielding any fruit. So now you're going to Third Mainland Bridge to protest. You're not just doing this to the government, you're even affecting the lives of the fellow citizens. It is we now that goes through that route. It is we that will leave our places, going through that places to go to work and go. Now if you want to block the areas, how will people move around? How will people go out to look for daily bread to get to work? So it is still we that is doing ourselves. So I don't think going to protest on the Third Mainland Bridge would yield any fruit. And now, yes, the police guys they've done well to try to curtail this and say that it is not going to happen. That is a good one, actually.
What do you think, Esther? Some have said, especially after the Free Nnamdi Kanu now protest, that the police seem to be high-handed, quick to react rather than to be proactive. With this development, with the police being quick to say, look, motorists, pedestrians, Lagosians can go about their daily business as they try to quell this supposed protest.
Well, I would say it's a good thing that the police came in and calmed everybody, because the Third Mainland Bridge is like one of the busiest, let me just say, the busiest place in Lagos State. And
maybe across Nigeria.
Yes. So any protest there or anything can really disrupt the daily activities of every Nigerian, business people and working people. So I think it's a good thing that the police came up and they've calmed the situation down, but they should still continue to look deep into it so that it does not arise again, like it doesn't come up again.
And of course, Lagosians, we would love to get your reactions. Hashtag Oroshoki, hashtag Third Mainland Bridge, and of course, hashtag Lagos. Moving on to the next development, where Nigeria's National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, said Sunday it arrested socialite Pretty Mike and more than 100 other during a midnight raid at a popular Lagos nightclub, accusing them of participating in a suspected drug party. Now, the NDLEA said operatives stormed the club in the early hours of Sunday following credible intelligence about alleged narcotics use and sale. Agency spokesperson Femi Babafemi confirmed that 116 people, 90 men, 26 women were detained. Among those detained was Lagos nightlife promoter and socialite Mike Eze Nwoko, better known as Pretty Mike, famous for his flamboyant lifestyle and controversial public appearance. Let's get to see that video. All right, that's the video that's been making the rounds on social media, showing NDLEA operatives leading handcuffed patrons into waiting vans as strobe lights flickered into the nightclub. Witnesses described panic as customers try to escape through emergency exits. Well, reacting, Lagos State Commissioner for Information, Benga Omotosho, praised the NDLEA for what he called a bold step towards cleansing the city nightlife of illicit drugs. Now, several entertainers and nightlife figures expressed shock over Pretty Mike's arrest. Popular music producer Don Jazzy wrote on his X handle, formerly Twitter, "If he's innocent, I hope the truth comes out soon. We must separate real offenders from people just enjoying a night out." End of quote. Club owner and promoter Shino Pella, a former lawmaker, called for a balanced approach. And he was quoted as saying, "We need to fight drugs without demonizing the nightlife economy. Lagos thrives on entertainment." End of quote. The Lagos state government said it will collaborate with the NDLEA to introduce awareness campaigns and stricter surveillance around entertainment venues to curb drug abuse. Esther, let me ask you, how do you react to this? I mean, this is probably the first time in a long while we're hearing of such a raid by the NDLEA, and not the raid per se, but where they chose to raid a nightclub in Lagos of all places. I mean, how do you react to this?
Well, NDLEA, of course, they must have gotten a heads up and they went there to raid the place and check. But are we sure that it's the entire people that they detained that are actually were caught with these drugs? And it's because it's possible they just went there, took everybody.
They got a tip off.
Yes, and they we need to, just like what the judge said, we need to separate the offenders, the people that really were in possession of these drugs, and then the people that were not. Because I'm looking at the video and I'm seeing a lot of people. Some people actually just came there to just
hang out,
of course, but we can see all of them. So it's a good thing they did, but at least I feel like it's not the entire 100 people that were actually in possession of these drugs, so they can still.
Now, Miriam, how do you react to this, considering the fact that Lagos is probably one of Africa's biggest cosmopolitan and metropolitan city, and anywhere in the world, I mean, from New York, Miami to Johannesburg, the subject of what is called socially accepted drugs, at least in other parts of the world, that's what it is. In this raid, the NDLEA did not specify whether they actually caught anybody with drugs, but I mean, 116 people. I mean, what does this foretell for the future of nightlife, especially in Lagos of all places?
The thing with our young ones, or let me say Nigerians, a whole lot of Nigerians are in use of these drugs and they are abusing it. You go out, you see young boys, young girls, and they are using drugs, they are abusing drugs. We were on this table, was it not last week or sometime last week, when we heard that one of the celebrities, her husband came out to say that she's on drugs and that is why she is misbehaving. Now today we are hearing another story about drugs. The high rate of drug abuse, drug use in Nigeria is alarming. So I think it's a good move, it's a good step for the NDLEA to have gone into this club to get people. But my fear is most persons, like Esther said, most persons are there just to have fun for the weekend, and
so how
not
do they
everybody deals on drugs. You get so now how will you separate people that just went there to have fun and people that actually went there to deal on drugs? Because you see a whole lot of people. Okay, now Pretty Mike is the main face in this thing. We don't know if he was there dealing drugs or he was just partying. A whole lot of people just go to clubs to have fun. Not everybody is a drug user. So I think they should look for a way. I don't know. Okay, they said they were going to do drug tests to know people who are on these drugs or what. I don't think this video that is outside is supposed to be let out at this point, because you're putting it out there. People who are innocent will be there and people will see their faces.
They'll be stigmatized.
Exactly, they'll be stigmatized. So how will you now, when these people are now called and they are innocent, how will you now go back to say this person is innocent, this person wasn't involved in drug use? So I don't think this video, I don't know how it got out. This video is not supposed to be on the internet for now.
All right, on our part here on LJE, we appeal that maybe government needs to begin to look at the drug pandemic in Nigeria and some kind of sensitization exercise on the part of the NDLEA, and not just the NDLEA, and the National Orientation Agency, to try to discourage young people from participating in drug abuse. Moving ahead, Nigerian Senator Ned Nwoko has urged President Bola Tinubu's administration to release detained separatist leader Nnamdi Kanu, arguing that doing so would help restore peace and stability to the troubled southeast region. Speaking in an interview on Sunday, Nwoko, who represents Delta North Senatorial District, said Kanu's prolonged detention had worsened mistrust and deepened insecurity in the region. Nwoko also renewed calls for the creation of an additional state in the southeast, insisting that the imbalance in Nigeria's federal structure has fueled agitation. Meanwhile, Minister of Information Mohammed Idris said the federal government acknowledges the concern raised by leaders like Senator Nwoko, but stressed the matter is before the judiciary and due process must take its course. Nwoko's remarks sparked mixed reactions across the southeast, and on social media, many residents and community leaders praised the senator for taking the bold stand. Right, so Esther, Senator Ned Nwoko has been in the news of late, both for the good and the bad. But in this instance, he is calling for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And also, I know he has been at the forefront for the of the advocate for the creation of a normal state in from Delta. So, how do you react to Senator Ned's position?
Well, I think he's on the right side this time around because he's calling for peace. We actually need peace in Nigeria, especially this period, because this detaining of Nnamdi Kanu has caused a lot of unrest in the country. So I think what Nwoko is saying is what most Nigerians too are saying. They should release him so there can be rest in the country.
Okay, so you joined the call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Miriam, your reaction?
Okay, Nnamdi Kanu, yes, he has done a whole lot of harm to Nigeria. Before his arrest, he has caused plenty damages to the southeast. Now he's detained because of things that he has done. And yes, he's not above the law. He's supposed to face whatever the law gives to him. But he has been detained for a very long time. Yes, so I don't think it is right keeping him there for a very long time. He has been detained like he said, unjustly. Yeah, it is actually unjust. Now, moving forward, Senator Ned is saying that they should create an normal state. How would creating another state bring peace to the southeast? I am not seeing the correlation or how that is going to work. So anyhow, I just hope justice is being served to Nnamdi Kanu, but releasing him won't bring peace to the southeast. It won't.
All right, and that sums it up for this edition of Trends with LJE. Thank you, Miriam and Esther, for taking out time to be with us on the show. And of course, to you, our viewers out there, thank you for logging on to be updated on developing stories. But most importantly, don't forget to like, share, and of course, click on the notification button on our YouTube channel, and of course, follow at LJE Nigeria on all social media platforms. I am John Kamyang. Bye for now.